Okay, where am I? Okay, there it is. Now check this out. This is truly racist right here. That's a black power sign. Think about that. Black power. Okay? If you look it up in Wikipedia, black power is also is black superiority, or racial superiority. If a black man has his fist up like this, then that's all right. But if a white man does it, he's a neo-Nazi, a racist. You know, if you're black and you're proud you're black, which very few are, but if you're proud you're black, then that's one thing. You're a good black man. But if you're white and you put your fist up like white power, you're a racist. Absolute racist. The truth of the matter is that the United States and everyone is overdoing racism like you wouldn't believe. What's acceptable for blacks is not acceptable for whites. And my understanding of racism is that if you turn around and treat one group different than you treat another group because of their race, you're racist. Okay? What I get a kick out of are these biased crimes. These mean white guys are doing these vicious, vile, biased crimes, right? Attacking blacks, doing crimes against blacks. That's a biased crime. But you see on these videos from Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, blacks attack a huge amount of blacks attack a white person because they're white. That's not a biased crime. No, it can't be a biased crime because they're black. And blacks cannot be racist. I hear that a lot. Blacks cannot be racist. That absolutely makes me sick because racism is a mental thing. First of all, you gotta have the intelligence to hate. Okay? Then you have to have the intelligence not just to hate, but to hate a certain group. Cats hate dogs. Hate is just one of those things that you learn. I hate needles. Does that mean I'm a racist against needles? No. So, you see these people talking about racism in the United States, and they really don't know what they're talking about because they are racist. They go, go ahead and bust up and loot the white stores, but don't do it to the black stores. How's that not racist? If I sat there and said, well, hey, let's bust up all the black stores and do the whites, I'd be the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Because that's what they would make me out to be. Because I'd have to be a racist to say such a thing like that. So, why are politicians, why are people saying that what the blacks are doing now is not racism? How is a bunch of blacks attacking a white guy or a white lady on the street because they're white not racist? It doesn't make any sense to me. And it shouldn't make any sense to anyone else. Because unless you're going to sit there and say, well, we got to treat these blacks differently because they're not smart enough, or they don't know what they're doing, or something like that, then I can understand it. But they know what they're doing. They're going around breaking windows. They're going around looting places. And see, what's even worse is they don't really care. I hear them say several times, well, people are, people's lives are more important than property damage. Well, if you're the person that owns the store and you get your stuff broken into, guess what? See, there's a bank right there. That board is not up there because it's a good thing to do. It's up there because they keep breaking the windows here. See that? Black Lives Matter continuously breaks their windows. A Bank of America. I'll show you another place. Top to bottom. Right there. See that? The reason why that plywood's on that window is because they broke in that way and looted the store. Store owners can't afford to have their stuff broken into. So you're going to damage someone's property because they're white and not damage someone's property because they're black. But when the whites did that, they called that racist. When you do that to a white person that's not racist, that worked years to get their business going, got their business going, and all of a sudden some rioters go up and bust their windows out, you call that justice. How's that justice? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Right after they marched the first time and busted a bunch of windows, they had a bunch of black leaders in the community come forward and say, hey, that's not what we're about. But the Black Lives Matter says that's exactly what we're about. Attacking whites, looting, damaging people's property. Nothing they like to do is attack alternative media. See, if you're alternative media, you're a fascist. Unless you're a liberal. If you're a done-sign liberal that basically pals everything they want, then you're media. Other than that, you're a fascist. And fascist needs to get beat up. Ask any Antifa person. If you're a Trump supporter, you're a fascist. Why? Because you vote for Trump. If you weren't a fascist, you'd vote for Clinton. You know, the person that abandoned Marines in Libya when our embassy was attacked, the person that sent drones over to hit medics and stuff in Afghanistan, yeah, that's who they wanted you to support. Someone that put a bunch of U.S. top secret stuff into a non-secure server so everyone around the world could read that stuff, endanger American lives overseas. Yeah, that's what they wanted you to vote for. And if you didn't vote for that, you're a racist. If you didn't vote for a traitor, you're a racist. See, check this out. I mean, you go up and down Martin Luther King and see that shit all the time. That is really sad. See, abolish police. Well, in this country, we got police. If you commit a crime in one state and it's a felony, and you go to another state, they'll sure come pick you up and take you back and let you face justice. Right? Or injustice, or whatever you want to call it. But if you have no police, then what stops someone coming in from, say, Colorado, robbing and raping and stealing, and then going back to Colorado and never getting held accountable for it? Well, as long as it's not done to a black person, that's all right. If it's a white person that does it to a black person, that's a racist. So it just absolutely boggles my mind how they sit there and say, well, this is good because this is not racist, but then you see a white doing the same thing and it's racist. Or you vote for the wrong candidate, you're a racist. Or you disagree with the liberals in any way, shape, or form, you're a racist. That's sad. But that's the United States. Let's talk about the Portland riots. Okay, I keep hearing, oh, Portland protesters. Hey, Portland protesters were attacked. Oh, call the FBI. Call the Department of Justice. Portland protesters were attacked. Well, let's look at this. Portland protesters were attacked. Okay, the guy that was shot was less lethal, right? Picked up a gas canister and threw it at the police. They launched a gas canister, it landed on the ground, could have thrown it, could have launched it, whatever. But he picked it up and threw it at the police. He also had his hand up clenched around a speaker. Now, it's dark. They probably can't see it. All they see is a hand clenched, looking like it might be the same way you'd throw a hand grenade. And so he got shot with less lethal. Oh, we want a federal investigation. We want a civil rights investigation. Okay, let's pay attention to what the governor asked of the Homeland Security and what the mayor asked of Homeland Security. Pull your federal troops out of Portland or keep them in the Justice Center. And clean up the Justice Center. Why are you going to clean up the Justice Center when you're going to sit there and allow these people to come in and tag anyway? So you spend 10 grand on repainting the areas that they tag just to have the people come back and tag it again? That doesn't make any sense to me. But to an Antifa or Black Lives Matter, that makes perfect sense. Gotta make the government pay. All right, I like that. Make the government pay. Well, why don't the government pay the people that they violated their rights instead of hiring these attorneys to defend them? See, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make no sense at all. Okay? These rioters are rioters. Okay? Trump said that he is going to send federal marshals in and federal police to come in and quell the rioters. They're damaging federal property. Well, they shouldn't be on our streets. No, they shouldn't be out arresting people damaging federal property, should they? That is absolutely despicable. I mean, I'm sure if someone went over and tagged something on your house, you'd be more than unhappy about that. If you owned a business and someone went and tagged your business, I'm sure you'd be very unhappy about that. Right? So why should the feds be any tolerant against these rioters down there tagging their buildings? Oh, because it's the federal government. And I hear this thing, yeah, the feds have all kinds of money. I mean, they run low, they just print a bunch more. It doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't. That's black propaganda. Okay, here's what happens. We need to print money. So we agreed to do a deficit like with China. We'll sell bonds, okay? China buys a whole bunch of bonds, okay? Basically promissory notes that say we're going to pay them back at a later time. Okay? So we pay so they turn around and buy these promissory notes. Okay? And then we use that to make money. Now we have a debt with China. Do we make money to pay that debt off? No. We make the money that we need to keep our economy going. Well, somewhere along the way, this debt got to be paid off. Now, I'm sure if I went to a black loan sharker and sat there and said, hey, I want to borrow $1,000, he'd be probably more than happy to loan me the money. Well, if I went to him and I said, hey, check this out, I don't have the money, and I'm not going to pay you because I don't have the money, I'm sure he'd be really pissed off. In fact, I'm sure I'd get my ass whooped for that one. So, that's what's really sad, is that we allow such racism in this country, okay? Yeah, what the whites did back in the 40s and 50s and stuff like that's not cool, okay? But let's look at reality. What did we do to the Japanese during World War II? Okay, now let's talk about repayments, right? I'm hearing about all this. Oh yeah, we got to pay the blacks and stuff like that. Well, let's look at that real carefully. They say we should pay them because of slavery. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Let's pay them. But in the meantime, let's also pay the whites that were indentured servants, the Asians that were paid way under wage, and everyone else that was treated or paid inappropriately. Let's make it fair. Let's put it all the way across the board. Oh yeah, that's right. The U.S. wouldn't have the money for that, and everyone would be sitting there saying, "Why are these whites making money off this?" Well, hey, I mean, I just want to be fair. I mean, why be racist about the whole thing? Why? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You look at the white fist and white people going white power, and they're Nazis. They're racist. But you see a black man with a black fist saying black power, and he's okay because he has a right to do that. Well, so does the white person, but he's still going to be called a racist and beat up and stuff like that when he's around Antifa and other blacks if they find out he did that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So let's see what people's comments are. And I'm signing off.